Hello, I'm Marcus Boston. Quick video today, and we're going to talk about a certificate of qualified expert and why this requirement will prevent a jury from hearing what we call a frivolous lawsuit. All right, so before I get deep into those requirements, I want to define what is a frivolous lawsuit. And I'm bringing this video up because from time to time we have individuals who will contact us and they will have a concern. Their concern is to know, like, well, Mr. Boston, I don't want to be one of these people that's filing frivolous lawsuits and things of that nature. And once we talk with them more, what we start to realize is that they're misunderstanding, and the reason why they're having a hard time putting things together is because of what they know of the arguments surrounding tort reform and how for these cases, there's frivolous cases being filed and things of that nature. And so once we begin to talk with them and explain the process to them, they begin to realize that, wait a minute, that's not how this process works. And so with that being said, I'm going to go back to what I was talking about with frivolous. All right, so a frivolous lawsuit would be one in which there are no facts at all which support any type of cause of action. And I'm going to give you a quick example of a frivolous lawsuit. Let's say you got two people at a grocery store. You've got person A walking into the grocery store and person B coming out of the grocery store. So as they get ready to pass each other, person A says hello to person B. Person B looks at them, all mad and things of that nature, and goes about their business. All right, well, as time goes on, person B then goes to the courthouse, and based on that interaction with person A, they sue, person B sues person A for a breach of contract. Now, what facts in that fact pattern that I just gave you gave rise to any type of cause of action for a breach of contract? You got two people at a grocery store, barely said anything to each other, and one person goes and files a lawsuit against the other one for a breach of contract based on that fact pattern. That would be a simple example of what a frivolous lawsuit looks like. All right, now in the context of birth trauma, like I said, the reason why that's not going to happen in these cases in general here in Maryland is because of certain requirements. We have to be able to prove that the treating doctor fell below that standard of care, and by falling below that standard of care, caused the injury or the harm. And so this certificate of qualified expert, what that means is you have to have a medical expert that's not only going to say what the standard of care is in the case, but give examples as to how the defendant or defendants, how they breached the standard of care causing the injury. And so they can't just say that. They've got to write things down. They have to look at the facts of the case. They have to put that down in writing and give that opinion. And so the defense attorney, more than likely, they're going to have their medical experts, and they're going to more than likely say that no, there was no breach in the standard of care, or what they did not cause the injury. But the point is that you will have medical experts that will give medical opinions based on the facts that happened in the case. Now, each side may have a disagreement as to the other's position. They may disagree, but that doesn't mean that it is frivolous. In other words, that doesn't mean that there are no facts that could allow a jury to determine that the plaintiff is either going to win on their cause of action or the defendant is going to be the winner in the case. So that is the purpose of today's video, is to help you understand these requirements that are put in place by Maryland law, which make sure that more than likely, you're not going to get a birth injury or a birth trauma case. It's going to make its way through the process all the way to a jury or to a fact finder, and you don't have these certain certain requirements met. That's what those requirements are there for. All right, so that is the purpose of today's video, to help you understand more about this process. Maybe you're here today because your child has suffered an injury at birth, maybe a brain injury, HIE, or some other things that you have going on, and you're one of those ones, look, I don't like to sue, I'm not into all of that, that's not who I am. Because we do have individuals, they make that plain, they make that clear when they speak with us. And so the purpose of this video is to help you understand this process and why attorneys like myself who handle these types of cases, why on the front end we have to do a very good investigation to make sure that the facts and that what happened in the case, that it is something that we know that we can push through the system for you on your behalf and advocate for you. If you have more questions and you want to speak with me, there is a telephone number down below. Go ahead and pick up the phone and give me a call. I talk with families all the time about birth trauma and birth injuries, HIE, CP, MAS, brachial plexus injuries. I talk with families all the time about these issues, and I'll be happy to take some time and listen to your story. One more thing before I go. I practice law, as I said in this video. We've been talking about Maryland. I practice law here in the state of Maryland. If you contact me, because this video is on the internet, if you contact me and you are not in Maryland and you would like help with what you have going on, you got to understand that what we have to do is we have to use co-counsel or local counsel. And what that means is an attorney in your state to help push the case through. All right, so I just want to make sure that you understand that local counsel part. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law here in the state of Maryland at Boston Law Group LLC. We will see you next time. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.